Everybody, and welcome back to Darvanalee Designs. My name's Nicole, and today we're here for another crafty vlog. It's the 19th of March 2025, so let's get started. Good morning or good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for taking some time out of your day and spending it with me while I show you what I'm going to work on today. All right, so it's going to be a little bit of a this and a little bit of that. So I started early, which you'll get to see in just a moment. I started earlier today the quilt that I made a couple of weeks ago, so I'm going to get that finished. And then I've got some stuff down here on the table that I'm going to talk about in a little bit. And of course we have my cross stitch check-in, and we also have a diamond painting check-in. So I was a busy little baby yesterday getting lots of stuff done, but I didn't get any sewing or anything done because it was a really big day of paperwork and whatnot. I've still got a little bit to go, just some more invoices that I've got to send out and whatnot, so I'm going to get onto them this morning before I get stuck into anything else, but they shouldn't take me any longer than maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, if that. So I'm pretty happy with the productivity that I got on paperwork yesterday, because it's not my favorite thing to do. So apart from that stuff that I've got there, and the quilt there, there's also the other quilt that I wanted to do as well. So yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that as the day goes on. But for now, let's turn around and check out what I got done on my cross stitch yesterday. Okay, so after I did the stitch with me, in the last 2 days, I got nearly 700 stitches into this. So as you would have seen in the stitch with me, I finished the page and I started up here. I finished off the border and then I started stitching this out, and I did a little bit more after I finished the stitch with me, and so I finished this up. So now all I need to do is put this colour into the center, and then this one will be done. But last night after I did the stitch with me, which as you know I did pretty late in the afternoon, I finished that up, put the green in, and then I decided, well, I had done enough on that and wanted to do a little bit of diamond painting. So yeah, but these go really quick. Like once you get into the swing of them, they go super quick. So I'm hoping that over the course of the week I will get a lot more done on this. I definitely want to go across, so I'm definitely going to be doing this section here, which is a repeat over, to make sure that I've got the border going all the way over. So that is what I'm going to concentrate on over the next couple of days, and then yeah, of course, this will come out again anytime I go to stitching or craft or anything like that. This will come out again. I'm not sure how much I'm going to get done on the 29th, because I am at a craft day and I don't know whether I'm going to participate in the craft that they have there or whether I'm just going to do some stitching. I'll have to play that by ear, but because they do a lot of paper crafts, and unless it's really interesting, like it really quips my creativity, I probably will just do my stitching. I'm more going for the company. So yeah, so it's coming together nicely. I'll give you a little bit of a close-up of that. You can see it there. So waiting for the camera to adjust. So it's looking really good. I do love working with the Cosmo threads, and I just love how like repetitive and symmetrical this all looks, you know, like it's just, yeah, I love it because you get these secondary patterns coming in and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, all right, let's go and check out my diamond painting and what I got done last night. So as you can see, I didn't do too much more afterwards because I got a little bit excited and wanted to go and do some diamond painting. I'm really excited for this piece. I just want to work on it all the time, but I know that I've got to take it easy because otherwise I'll hurt my arm. So I'm just doing a little bit here, a little bit there, and I have a check-in for that, so you can have a look and see what I got up to for that. So let's go and check that out. Okay, so as you know, I am, because you can't see it, I am working on, oh, that light's great on that, isn't it? I'm working on the Black Hat by Candlelight. So that's what it's going to look like, and I am working this area down here at the moment. And I've got a second section done. How cool does that look? Like, I love it. Let's give this a little bit of a close-up. I finished it. I was talking to Chrissy last night while I was doing this, and she was telling me about her diamond painting. She's got it all kit up, so I can't wait to see that. And if you want a bit of a closer look at this, it's just a photograph that I have posted it on my community tab as well. But as you can see, it's all coming together really nicely. The squares are all locked in. I did fiddle around with it. Some of the things that I do, which I'll show in the next video, but these tools are really valuable for getting squares to sit right. Now, I don't know if I've said this or not, but when I started diamond painting, I actually started with squares. So squares is like what I pretty much know. I love doing rounds because they're so quick and so easy, but squares take a little bit more patience. And when the backlight is lit up, which I'll put on in just a second to show you, I won't have to move this for, I think it's 9 squares. So let me just show you that. Okay, so I've got it now with the light pad lit up behind it. Now, when you look at this, it looks like it's really messy and you can see lots of gaps. But you've seen before when, but they are straight. Like if you look at them, they are straight. There's just some of those gaps because, I mean, you're not going to get it absolutely perfect. You know, in some spots there'll be less gaps than others, but that's what it looks like with the light behind it. So if you are doing a diamond painting and you've got the light behind it and you're doing a square and you're thinking, oh my God, this isn't right, and you get obsessed about getting the placement right, don't stress about it. Turn the light off, walk away, come back to it the next day with fresh eyes, and you will be absolutely astounded of how good it looks. So you can see I won't have to move the pad for at least 9 of these, and then so basically what I'll do is I'll just work along the bottom, and then I'll probably spin the chart around and work upside down. I'll see how I go because it is a big chart. It's bigger for it's too big for this table. As you can see, it's rolled up, but I'm working through it. So I think what will happen is I'll just work along the bottom, and then I'll be able to roll that up and turn it around or bring it down. I'll play around with it. You know what I'm saying, right? So that's what it looks like. Now, I don't have to move it. I'm really excited about that. Now, you can see all those gaps and everything. Now, let me just turn the light off and watch the difference, if I can find it. Let me just pull it out. It's probably quicker. Now, we are pretty much on top of that. You can't really see those gaps or anything there. Like there's probably some that I'll need to just fluff around with. And at the end of each session, sorry about my finger in the way. At the end of each session, I tend to grab my little tool here, and then I'll play around and get it, sitting right and all that sort of stuff. Because the light's been on as well, it's sort of warmed up the glue a little bit, so it makes it a lot easier. But with the light on, you can't even see that has got a circular motion to it when you look at it. So it makes a big difference turning the light off and walking away. Because it's a constant thing that I hear when I watch diamond painters. Oh, I don't like squares, or, I get too hung up on it and all that sort of stuff. Sometimes you just have to step away. And this is a valuable lesson I learnt with stitching with white on cross stitch and also with patchwork as well. Because you're on top of your work. You see all the imperfections. Our eyes instantly go to those imperfections. And you're on top of your work. So when I'm working, I'm on it like this, which still even looks different in the camera and whatnot. So it's not until you step back and you come back at it with fresh eyes that you get a true picture of what it's actually doing. So if you are struggling and you want to try squares and you've tried it in the past and you've struggled because you want to get them perfect, stick around by hitting that subscribe button, and you will get to see the little things that I do with my tools and everything when I do diamond paint with me, and give you some tips and tricks on how to work with squares a little bit easier. And these are all multi-placed as well. So I used to do 1 square at a time. I am now up to multi-placing, and I can place 6 at a time. I started out with 3. I stuck them on there last night when I finished because I found them, so I wouldn't lose them, so I can put them back in the thing. But I'm now working with a steel, like a metal, not a steel, but metal placer, and I'm able to do 6 at a time. And I find it super easy to also maneuver with that as well, because it's got a bit of stiffness. And then, as I said, I use this tool here to, again, it's metal. There are plastic ones that you can get that are a little bit cheaper, but I got these in an advent box, and they're just a little flat tool that help you to place everything. So you can see up here, these are a little bit off center, but if I just play around with them and I just put these between them, you can see they're starting to straighten up. And that's what I do at the end. I don't worry about doing it while I'm doing it. Sometimes I do if they're really badly placed, but I tend to use my placer to get it in place. And then at the end of it, I just basically go row by row and straighten it all up. And then I come into the one that I've already done, I'll come in a little bit as well. And yeah, but when you've got the light underneath it, it really does look like it's really, really messy and all that sort of stuff. So you can see there that we've got a beautiful, the sun's not out today, it's just starting to break through, but we've got a beautiful shimmer on that. And they're placed lovely. And you can make out what it is. As you step away, you can see there's a key and the base of the candle. All right, I'm going to get on with the rest of my day, but that's what I did last night. And, of course, I also did some reading as well, but I don't feel myself reading. So, yeah. Anyway, I hope you're having a fabulous day, no matter where you are. And I'm off to do some more stuff. So, as you can see, I got 2 sections done now. And, yeah, so I'm really happy with the 2 sections I've got. But that second section I did in 2 sittings. So I did a little bit on Monday and then I finished it off yesterday. So I've just been working on it in my lunch hour. So half an hour to 45 minutes. Depends on what I have for lunch and whether it's already prepped or not. And because a lot of time I just have leftovers from the night before, but there are no leftovers today, so it'll probably only be half an hour. And then last night, as I said, I just wanted to, I had done the stitch with me and I did a little bit extra on the stitching, and the diamond pain was calling to me, so off I went and finished that off, and it's a lot of fun. So now I'm also going to talk a little bit about what I've got on the counter here. So apart from getting the quilt done today, I also want to get the binding done on this as well. This is upside down right now, but this is a dust cover for a Heaven and Earth design for a customer. So you can see I've rounded off the edging and I've put on sewn on the binding. So now all I've got to do is roll it over and sew that down. Again, I wasn't ready for this when I went to stitching, so Leanne will bring her Heaven and Earth with her next time, and then we'll place the tabs in it. But I did want to talk about, I had some leftover stuff. I cut it a little bit bigger because I did want to actually make myself a little bag. So you can see here, I've got this left over, and I'm just going to sew, I'm also going to get the binding on that. So I'm going to sew the binding on that, and then I'm going to stitch these sides down, and then make myself a little project bag for, you know, whether I want to slip my computer in there, like my tablets or whatever, to carry, just to give it a bit of padding, and basically, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So you're probably wondering, what are you going to do with the raw edges? Well, the raw edges, what I'm doing is I'm going to sew this binding down first. Okay, so that is down, and then I'll snip that off, and basically that'll be flush. Then I'm going to stitch this down, so then I've got these 2 pieces here, and then what I will do is actually add the binding on. So I will end up getting it so we have a binding going all the way around, and of course I'm going to have it so it's really neat and tidy, where I'll have it wrapping around from the back, and then that will get covered up, and so down the bottom here. So let's show you this side. So what I'll do, when I do the binding, I'll sew it on, but when I sew the backing on, I will actually wrap that around down the bottom, and so you get a really nice finish on it. I'll give you a much better idea once it's on. So yeah, I'm just sort of playing around with this. This may be a future tutorial, who knows. So yeah, but it was quilted on the long arm machine. It's just got some, and I did cut extra of the fabric, so I could do this because I had an idea of just doing like a little slip pocket. And this way I can fit a project in there and it'll keep it protected, especially ones that I leave in the frame, such as Farmhouse Christmas or the Carolyn Manning one will fit in this quite nicely because right now they're just sitting in the bag. So I thought it'd be a good opportunity. I was already making one. Might as well make another. Except this one's going to be a bag, not a wraparound. Now, if it was a wraparound, basically all I would do was I would have the binding going around like I did on Leanne's. But because I'm turning this into a bag, and then these two sections are going to get encased into a binding. So, and then this will just have the single binding like this up here. So, yeah, that's what I'm playing around with. And, of course, I do have extra binding left over. Where is it? I put it over here. I do have extra binding. So, unbeknownst to Leanne, she'll be getting one of these. She'll find out now because she'll watch these. But I've got this strip left over from her project. So, you can see here it was a little bit, the backing was a little bit smaller, and that was fine. But I've got these leftover this leftover strip, and I made some extra binding. And if you remember last week, those savvy people that listen to what I say will have heard that I'm going to make these into little mug rugs. So I think I could get 3, maybe 4 out of these. So I'll send one down to Leanne, so she's got one to use in her crafty room, and it'll match her when she's stitching. She likes matchy. Yeah, so I'll do that. And if there's some left over, I might even be able to make a little needle book as well. We'll see how we go. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make myself a little mug rug as well out of that scrap. And yeah, I think it's going to look absolutely fantastic. All right. Now, I've got all that sorted. I do have to stitch this on with the sewing machine, so I'll get that done a bit later. But I'm planning on getting that done today, and then I will figure out what else I can get done in the day as well. I am going to be stitching on my diamond painting at lunchtime, and I am just waiting on... and I'm going to cut up the binding to go on that quilt as well. I might even just look at... seeing what binding I have laying around, and I'll just put that on, because sometimes I've got binding. I think there was a pink binding that I found the other day, so I should be able to just stitch that on out of my scrap bin, which is hiding down there now. So you can see there I've chucked some scraps on top, but they're plains, and they'll just go into the plain bag. So yeah, I'm thinking that I'll just stick a pink, even though it's red, and it's just going to be a picnic blanket, and there is pink in it, so I might just chuck that on. It depends on how it looks. If not, I'll just make up another one and put it down. But I have some direction for today. I got notification that my parcel is in Brisbane for a few things that I'm waiting on. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that'll be here by Friday, because today's Wednesday. Usually takes 2 days to get here. So hopefully that'll get done. All right, I'm going to head off, and I will be back with an update once I've finished doing the binding. I've also got reading sprints today as well, so I've got to get ready for that. And I have no idea what I'm reading today. Oh, yes, I do. I'm reading A Dream Count by the author. I can't pronounce their first and second name, but their last name is Adichie. Apparently controversial author. So I'm not sure it's the author that's controversial, not her books. So we'll have to wait and see. It's a 600-page book, so it's like, oh, but I have it on audio, so I can listen to that and get through it a little bit quicker while doing other stuff as well. All right, I'm going to head off and get ready for the rest of my day. So you can see that, yeah, I have a little bit of work ahead of me today. So I'm hoping that I can get that all done. Of course, there'll be check-ins for that and whatnot. And of course, I also want to start looking at, let me just get it. I want to start looking at doing this as well, because I just have to cut that up and have that ready by the sewing machine, and then I can get it done. So whether I get it done today or tomorrow, that will depend wholly and solely how my day rolls out today. But the main priority is to get that dust cover done and finish off the mug rugs and all that sort of stuff. And then that way, all of that is done and dusted, and finish that quilt. So, and of course, I've got reading sprints today as well. So I've got to, you know, be chit-chatting with people and trying to fit everything in. All right, I'm going to head off, and as I said, I will check in throughout the day. All right, so it is 7 o'clock in the morning, and I sort of just want to get my day started. So sometimes I'll do this. I'll come out pretty early. I have this quilt here that I made a couple of weeks ago that you've seen on the vlogs. I'm going to quilt this up today. So basically I have to cut the backing, and I'm just going to use calico for that. This is my personal roll of calico that I have, because most of the the quilts that I make, I tend to just put calico on them, because it just makes it easier and cheaper for me as well, because a lot of the blankets get given to the kids and they don't treat them well. Yeah, and this is actually just going to be a picnic blanket that I'm putting in my car, so I don't need to go to great expense for it, and so I'm just using the calico, which is nice and cheap. I think this is like, I don't know, something is like $5-6 a metre or something. It's hard wearing, it washes up really well, it quilts up very well as also, and I just think it's crazy to spend a lot of money on something that's going to get thrown on the ground. So that's why, how much is it? $5.55 a metre. I do have it for sale for people as well, but yeah, so I just figured it's just going to be easier to do that, and because this was not that wide, like it's wide enough, and I just cut enough to measure it, I'm just going to load it up, and then I've got a heap of scrap wadding from quilts and stuff, so you can see here I've got bits and pieces, so I'm just going to, because this is going to be a picnic blanket, I'm just going to do a quick stipple on it. I don't even care what colour cotton's on it, because it's just a point of using up my scraps. It's still going to look beautiful, and I'm just trying to make it simple and easy, quick, and another finish. And then I'm going to put a I think I was going to put a red binding on that. I can't remember what I was going to do, but we'll look at that a bit later. But it'll be almost to a finish, and that's what we want. We want to get stuff out of the queue. Now obviously with my other quilts that I've got here, you can see here there's a pile of my quilts. They'll have more expensive backing on them. I'll probably piece something. I don't have a problem piecing things either for my own personal quilts. So yeah, so I'll do all that when it comes closer. Okay, so I'm ready to start quilting this. It's not going to take very long. Took me about 15 minutes to get that in. You might have noticed that I didn't iron the back of the calico. I didn't worry about it because I'm putting the tensioners on it. It's going to get rid of all those creases anyway. That's what I was double checking. You also probably noticed I didn't clean the machine before I started. I actually did that last night, so but I didn't film that. So I'd already done my workout with that at the end of the day yesterday, so it was all ready to go today. And also the machine's not driving itself, so had I been using the Q-Bot today, I would have cleaned it last night, then cleaned it again this morning to make sure that there was no dust or any sort of fluff or cotton or anything like that that may have found its way onto the tracks, and then that way it can move freely without, you know, getting caught up with cotton and all that sort of stuff. And it happens. As you know, if you've got a sewing room, you can clean everything down and then 5 minutes later you'll find more cotton. So it's the same sort of thing with the Q-Bot as well. So because I'm driving the machine myself, I don't have to worry about that as much because I'm actually driving the machine. I will actually have a little bit of force on that machine, whereas the Q-Bot is driving itself. So that is why you're thinking, oh, she didn't clean the machine. I actually did. I cleaned it last night in preparation for today because I knew I was getting up to do this because I had a big paperwork day yesterday. All right, so I was just thinking about it. I was just going to do a simple stippling on this one. I think it's going to be nice and easy and quick to do. I know it's not exciting or anything like that. It's quite a boring pattern. But then I was thinking, well, maybe I should do some loop-de-loops, but I just kept going back to the stippling. So I'm just going to do that. And stipple can be anything. Like I use a squiggly line. You can do loop-de-loops. You can do asterisks. Like I do a continual line and do little like asterisks that end up looking like snowflakes. Yeah, I do multiple. I'll go do straight line stippling as well because essentially it's just a continuous line and I'm just doing that. I do boxes. I do all sorts of things for the stippling, but I'm just going to go with your standard vintage sort of look squiggly line, and they sort of interlock with one another, and that's what I'm going to do on this quilt today. All right, so I'm going to get myself sorted and get this started, and then I'm going to go make myself a cuppa because I always like to do one thing before I start the day, so it gives my waking up and all that sort of stuff. Of course, I've done my yoga already this morning and all the rest of it, so I'm going to do some of this, then I'm going to go and make my cuppa, probably jump in the shower while the jug's boiling and get myself ready for the rest of the day. Okay, so I have got my quilt finished. As you can see, I've just stippled. I didn't really care whether it was perfectly, you know, 1/4 inch apart or anything. I've just done a squiggly line all over it. Remember, this is going to be a picnic blanket that I'm going to throw down on the ground. It's going to get washed and all that sort of stuff. But this stippling will give it a little bit of stability as well. So now I have to pick out what binding, binding I'm going to put on this. And I'm thinking that I might just put a navy blue, plain navy blue if I've got, I think I've got some in the scrap bin. I think that there was some in there. If not, I'm sure I've got a fat 1/4 of it somewhere. But anyway, that's how it's turned out. I think it's going to look absolutely fantastic. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just trying to use up bits and pieces. So I got to use a little bit of, so as I said, I put calico on it because it's nice and cheap. and I used up a bit of scrap wadding. I've still got a big pile of it there, and I've also got a container underneath there with it in there. So a couple other of my quilts, I will use up all those leftover bits and pieces, and yeah, so I think it looks good. I think it's turned out well for a picnic rug. It's perfect. So yeah, or even when, you know, Savannah's friend comes over with the barb, we can put this down on the grass for her as well. And yeah, I think it's going to look great. And I think a navy blue will be the best option to go with. Short of that, I've got some grey in this fabric. I don't think I've got any green left in this at all. But I do have another green that is the same, so I might be able to use that. So that might be an option. I think my partner's just turned up to move a car out into here. So anyway, that is done. And now I've just got to figure out the binding. Now, actually, I think I might go with the green. I'll just grab it out. Hang on a second. Excuse all my mess. But I think that'll work okay. That'll work. Yeah, let's do that, shall we? We'll go with that. All right. We're going with the green. Or should I go with the navy blue? I don't know. I'll put them two up and then you'll get to be surprised when I'm done it. Because I don't think I'm going to get it done today. I'll just think about what I want to put on there and whatnot. Anyway, I'm going to head off and I'll check in when I've done some more. Okay, so I got the binding done on this little bag. And it's a great little project bag. It's going to fit my frame in it with my... it fits the size that I'm working on for the, what's it called? Garden Labyrinth. So yeah, so we've got that all down. And I don't even need to really put a snap on that, but I will probably put one. But if I was to make another one, I'd probably just put a strap that I can slip this into. But yeah, it's turned out really well. I'm really happy with it, considering it was just a bit of fabric that I had no idea what I was going to do with it. Until I was done. But yeah, it's turned out really well. I'm super chuffed with it. And I think it's going to make a great project bag for some of my smaller frames that I can just slide in. So I'll probably make a couple more. The ones that I don't take out of frames because I'm working on them more often than not. I also got Leanne's dust cover done. So now all we need to do is put the snaps on that when I see her next, but that's what it looks like, all done and dusted. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I have not got to this today, so I'm probably not going to get to this today because I actually have 4 videos to edit, but I am going to later on tonight cut the binding for this, and I may even sew that on just after I finish doing all my editing and whatnot. And I still have the binding to put on these two. I'm going to cut them up and put the binding on them in the next day or so as well. So a pretty productive day, getting all the things that I need to get done. Just finished book sprints as well, so now it's time for editing. But I'm actually going to wrap up this video, mainly because I want to go and hide with the headphones on because the music's playing really loud over the next door. But I just like to say thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed all the check-ins and everything that went on today. Of course, I will be back tomorrow for crafty sprints. Yeah, I will see you all then. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you haven't already done so, make sure you hit that subscribe button, the little bell icon beside it. And of course, don't forget to also give me a thumbs up on the video because that'll help my channel grow. And I cannot believe we're almost at 40,000 subscribers. That's truly amazing to me. I'm always blown away by the numbers that I've got there. So yeah, thank you everybody for subscribing, and don't forget to give me a thumbs up. As I said, that helps my channel grow. And leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you were working on today while you were watching this video. And of course, I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now.